Hello everybody and welcome to the New Drummers Toolkit playlist. This is a compilation of all of my videos from TikTok for all you new drummers out there. So this is going to be all those videos in one nice labelled place. So if you've been looking to start drums and you don't know where, what you need to know, how you need to set things up, this is the video for you. And if you don't want to watch all the setup stuff, you can skip straight to where you want to be. If you have any questions, come and ask me in the Discord. It's more likely I'm going to see and answer your question in there. And if you want to take this further and take some lessons with me, I do online lessons, link is in the description. So yes, enjoy and I will see you in there.
As a drum teacher on TikTok, I get questions that are kind of the same, basically. Mostly, how do I play and where do I start? What do I need to know as a drummer who's never played before? Well, I've made a playlist, isn't that exciting? It's called the New Drummers Toolkit and it's literally got how to set things up, how to tune everything, how to sit properly, how to hold your sticks, then all the grooves you need to know as a drummer, foundationally, that you can then build upon. I also go into fills, improvising and rudiments, everyone's favourite rudiments. So literally it's got everything you need to start your journey with drumming. Sound good? Good. Hello and welcome to the New Drummers Toolkit playlist. I'm glad you're here. So, as I mentioned before, this playlist has hopefully got everything you need to know about drums if you want to learn how to play all the basics. Everything should be in nice little bite-sized chunks, but if you have any further questions, of course, put them in the comments. Everything in here should be pretty straightforward. I've got little videos that are like chapter dividers as well. Just a little side note though, this thing is a work in progress. I'm going to be adding to it all the time, so any suggestions are very welcome. Have fun! Do you want to know what all the parts of a drum kit are called? Bet you didn't think you were going to learn about this today, did you? Alright, let's start from the ground up. So, in your right foot, if you're right-handed, you've got your kick drum, or your bass drum. Don't know why it's called that, it just is. Next, in your left foot, you've got your hi-hat foot, because this whole thing over here that you can't see is called a hi-hat. Now, imagine all these round pads here are metal, because these are cymbals. But I don't have an acoustic kit, so we're going to have to work with it, and you're just going to have to imagine they're metal. But they're still cymbals either way. Like I said, we've got the hi-hat, and the hi-hat foot pedal to control the opening kind of mechanism in it. Next, cymbal-wise, we've got a crash cymbal over here that you can't really see again, but it's there. Over here, the biggest cymbal usually is the ride cymbal, often used in jazz. It's used in everything, but most recognisably in jazz. Then, sometimes you have another crash over here, just because it's easier when you're doing a fill over here and you don't have to go at the end of it. So you can just go like that. So you've got two crashes, a ride cymbal and a hi-hat. Now, onto the drums, my favourite drum of all time. A snare drum. Called a snare drum because there is a snare mechanism attached to the bottom of it if you're playing an acoustic, which I am not. So, it's basically a bunch of wires underneath that make it sound all nice and different to the other drums. The other drums are called tom-toms. Now, don't know why they're called tom-toms, they just are. And usually, in most cases, you go high to low. So the one in front of the snare drum is a high, then you have a mid, which I don't have, I have a weird setup. So usually you have mid-tom here, well, I'm going to call it here, and then an extra low one called a floor tom. Called a floor tom because it has legs and it's attached to, you guessed it, the floor. I know. So that is your most basic setup. Not every drum kit has a mid-tom, much as you can see here. I have two floor toms. Ooh, isn't she fancy? But yes, now you know. You're welcome. How to set up your drum kit correctly, so you don't hurt yourself. That would be bad. So this is the New Drummers Toolkit playlist section on how to set up your drum kit. So these next few videos in this playlist are going to be all to do with that. So we're going to be covering where everything should go, what height everything should be at, how high you need to sit, posture, all sorts of good things. This is really important with your play because you want to be able to play as efficiently and as comfortably as possible for as long as possible. So let's jump in straight away with the first important thing, which is seat height. I'll see you there. How high should you have your drum stool? This is a really important question, but if you've only just started drumming, you might be wondering why. So I'm about to tell you. First things first, it's important that you get this height right first because it determines the rest of your setup and the rest of the height and everything else. So that's why you want to look at this first. So there's two options in terms of mistakes, quote unquote mistakes you can make in terms of height of drum stool. Now, there's no wrong answer in terms of how high to have it. It is a personal preference thing. However, there is kind of an optimum position. So you don't want your drum stool too low, and too low means that your hips are below your knees, meaning that you're kind of squatting almost. It's not really comfortable, and also you'll find that it's really hard to play kick drum properly, and you'll find these stools in rehearsal studios everywhere because they're broken and they're rubbish. So yeah, it means basically that all your muscles and everything are crunched up and tight in, which you don't really want. In drumming in general, it's never good to have everything like crunched up and tense. So that's the main reason you don't want to be sat really, really low. Now the other extreme end is really, really high, and this is probably more commonly suggested because it's actually better for your back in some ways. Not to have it really high, you don't want your legs swinging, but when you're sat really high, the issue is that it can be, again, hard to get the right amount of power and the right position on the kick pedal. So as much as it's better for your back maybe in the longer term, and maybe if you have back issues that might be the way to go anyway, I wouldn't suggest that. So you want to find a happy medium. So where I'm at is your knees want to be slightly above your hips, basically. It allows gravity to work for you when it comes to using the kick pedal, because all you have to do is lift your leg up slightly and you've got the weight of your leg pressing down into the kick pedal instead of you having to really force into it. So yeah, like I said, it is a personal preference thing. However, this is kind of the optimum position you want to be. I could probably get a little bit lower if I wanted to, but this is kind of where I like to be. Now, one more thing, where you sit on the stool is quite important as well. So you don't want to be swinging all the way off the back and slouching and doing all that thing. But also, it's recommended that you sit a bit further forward. Just because it means all these muscles under here, you're not sitting on them, it means they can work for you a little bit better. So your legs are nice and free to do what they got to do. So I highly recommend that you experiment with different setups just to see what works best for you, because obviously I can't answer that question for you. Just be aware, not too high, not too low. Remember where your knees and your hips are in relation to each other. Your snare drum is probably at the wrong height. Let's find out if it is or not. So it's really easy for us drummers to have something that is not in the position it should be on our drum kits, because there's so many moving bits and we can develop such bad habits very easily. So let's start with positioning the snare drum, because if it's in the wrong place it can really hinder your playing. But before we set up the snare drum, make sure that you have your drum thrown at the correct height. I've already done a video on this, it's probably the previous one in this playlist. Do that first and then sort out your snare drum. Anyway, let's get into it. So you might be able to see why stool height is really important, because it determines how high you are when you're set up, and therefore how high your snare drum needs to be. So you've got three variables when it comes to snare drum. Obviously how high the snare drum is, how far away the snare drum is from you, and then the angle that it's at. So firstly you've got snare height. So sit up straight with good posture and let your arms rest where they normally rest when you're playing. If you're a new drummer, it might take a little while to figure that out, but basically not really crunched up, not like at an angle like this, or not really low. You can't play it really low because you'll find that if it's too low, you'll hit your legs as well. When you're trying to play it all the way down here, you'll hit your legs. That can be really, really uncomfortable if you're playing in shorts and you go to play a rim shot like that and your leg is here. Your bare leg is there. Of course, I'm not speaking from personal experience, but just bear it in mind. Now, how far away it needs to be from you is wherever your kind of sticks fall, that needs to be the centre of the snare drum, at least vaguely. So that's kind of an easy one to do. And lastly, you've got the angle. Now, you can have it completely flat, however, you might find that you accidentally play a lot of rim shots. Rim shots are literally where you hit the rim and the snare drum at the same time, and you end up with a really nice crack, but it's not always what you want. So I recommend that you place it just slightly angled towards you, so you can hit the snare drum without having to really work to get a rim shot, but you also aren't hitting them when you don't want to. That makes sense. So yeah, that is snare drum placement. Might take a little while to get used to, especially if you've had a really wacky snare drum placement for a long time, but try different stuff out and let me know how you get on. As a new drummer, it can be really hard to know how to set up your drum kit at the right angle, right placements. So here is how you set up your toms and your cymbals. If you want to know about snare drum and drum stool, they're in the other videos in this playlist. So starting with toms, like with the snare drum, you want them all angled at least slightly towards you. You can have the high tom and the mid tom quite flat, but remember, if they're completely flat, you're going to end up doing rim shots that you don't really want. So, like I said, just slightly tip towards you. Same applies to the floor tom. You can have that slightly angled towards you as well. In terms of the height on the floor tom, you want that to basically be the same as the snare drum, just so you kind of got a level playing field. It doesn't feel like you're going up while you're playing it. In terms of distance for the toms, you want to be able to comfortably hit the middle of them. So the floor tom, it's quite important that you don't have it too far towards your leg, because obviously if you're trying to play bass drum, that means it's going to rub against it and it's going to get quite uncomfortable. But you want to be able to kind of just move your arm over. You don't want to have to lift up your elbow to access the floor tom. It's all about efficiency. You also don't want everything so far away that you have to lean for it, because that means bad posture, just bad things all over. Now when it comes to cymbals, height, you can kind of put them wherever you like. You've got a bit more freedom in this. However, if you've got your cymbals up like this, it can take a lot of effort to keep that going. If you're doing a groove up here like this for 2 hours, that can take a lot of work. So for me, especially as someone who's not had a lot of space, a lot of electric kit players get this, where they have their cymbals really super low, everything's super tight in. And for me, it's just in the name of efficiency. Like for me, this is the most comfortable height I can have my second cymbal at, because I'm barely lifting up my elbow to be able to access it, but I can also get, if I want to, a bit more oomph into it. That's also why you don't want them too close, because it means you can't get the downward force that you need to. If they were right here, you'd go but you wouldn't be able to get any actual power into it. Now when it comes to the angles of the crash cymbals, not the ride cymbal, the ride cymbal's slightly different. The crash cymbals, I'll turn this around for you, you don't want it to be super down turned, because the whole point of a crash is that you're using the shoulder of your stick on the edge like this and you're getting a nice crash like that. That's where it resonates the best and is the most crashy, right? So if you've got one that's angled like this, it's really hard to actually get the angle you want, because you have to put your arm down like this and then maybe the snare drum and get in the way, or you'll just end up whacking stuff that you don't need to. Same applies for this angle up here. So if you're up too high, you're basically going to spend a lot of money on sticks, because you're basically just going to sever and break a bunch of drumsticks, because it's going to be super sharp and it won't even sound very good. So like with all of it, it's just slightly tipped towards you. Now you might want your ride cymbal slightly more tipped towards you, unless you're using it as like a ride crash kind of thing, because you don't want this down here all the time. You actually want to be using the tip of the stick on this bit here. And when it comes to distance, I quite like my ride cymbal, so I don't have to reach for it at all. I'm barely lifting up my elbow to have to get the ride bell up here. So again, it's all about what makes it easy. But there's also an element, a very large element, of personal preference. Some people really enjoy having cymbals up here. Some people like having quite steep angles on their drums. However, especially when it comes to high tom, mid tom, you don't need to be angled stupidly high, because you're not a Tiki drummer. And if you try and hit a drum that's kind of angled that high, you won't hit it as you need to. It won't resonate like it's supposed to. You'll just kind of skip off the surface. So I don't recommend that. Other than that, go play around with your own setup and see what you like the most. How to correctly hold a drumstick. First things first, take your drumstick of choice and shove it right up your... No, but for real. First things first, your main pivot point, and the point that probably has the most grip involved, is actually between your thumb and your index finger. Now, I kind of have the stick resting in the kind of middle section of your index finger, kind of there, just towards this top crease. And then your thumb is on top of that, holding it kind of here. And you want to be, some people say the fulcrum is where you want to be holding this kind of pinch point, but that's kind of what, where's that? The fulcrum is the middle balancing point. So you're about here, and I don't, that's just not true, is it? So I kind of hold it around there. You want a little bit coming out the bottom, but you don't want to be like, it's not a magic wand, right? So yeah, I'd say around about a third of the way up, and you want to be able to kind of swing this thing about. This is your rotational point, because what you're then going to have is your fingers wrap around but don't grip around, right? Ideally, your index finger and your thumb are what's holding it steady, and then you're using your fingers to get power and motion out of it, like this, right? That's kind of what you're looking for. Oh, one more thing. Once you've got this, the way you actually play, if you're sat at a drum kit, you're actually going to want to, instead of having your thumb pointing up, I often tend to have my hand facing up like this. I like that. So instead of playing like this and trying to get the power out there, it doesn't really work. You want your hand on top, like that. Not always the case, but most of the time is the case. And one last very, very important thing, for the love of God, don't, especially when you're playing doubles, let your pinky finger come out like this. It's very tempting because your pinky finger isn't doing a lot, but don't, because my old drum teacher has a very wonky pinky finger because he used to play like that. And then one day he played a rim shot and whoop, it just broke his finger. So don't do that. Highly recommend you do not do that. But anyway, hope all that helps. If you've never sat at a drum kit before and you happen to find yourself behind one, here's what you do. Are we ready? Hope you're taking notes. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the right hand on the hi-hat. This is called the hi-hat. Not that you can see it. It's this thing here next to your friend the snare drum. So you're going to do 4 of those and you're going to count because counting is really important and you've only got to do it to 4, so there's no excuse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing. Nailed it. Fantastic. Next, you're going to put a kick drum, this bad boy, on 1 and 3. So you're going to keep playing this, keep counting, play 1 and 3 on the kick drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing. Lastly, you're going to put the snare drum underneath your right hand. Underneath, like this, like this. Not like this, like this. Don't try to play the snare drum over the top. Not very useful. So you're going to play snare drum on 2 and 4, as well as kick drum on 1 and 3, hi-hat on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lots of words. So when you put it all together, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was my best Bernard Purdy impression. Hope you're impressed. If you've always wanted to play drums and not known where to start, then I have created an ebook for you. It is completely free and it goes along this playlist here, the one you're in. It's called the New Drummers Toolkit and it's got everything you need to know. So either head to my bio and download the book for free now, or just go through this playlist. Now, for some of you more advanced drummers, because I know you're there, I have another ebook that is completely free called The Equalizer. It's in exactly the same place. It's all about getting your left hand up to speed with your right. So if that's something you've been looking for a while, then just go check it out. Like I said, both are completely free. Link is in my bio. Mwah! Big love. How to play a basic beat if you've never played drums before. I promise it isn't actually as hard as you might think. Stay with me. So you're going to start with 1, 2, 3, and 4 in your right hand on the hi-hat. This thing up here next to the snare drum. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit there for as long as you need to. Counting out loud. Get used to that. Then on 1 and 3 you're going to add a kick drum with your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit with that. Get used to it. Get comfortable with it. And then with your left hand underneath your right hand, play 2 and 4 all together. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit with that for as long as you need to until it's really comfortable. Now, here's where the fun part comes in. We are going to add a hi-hat in between the ones we're already playing. So you're going to end up playing 8 hi-hats, but you aren't going to count to 8. The way you're going to count this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, sit with that as long as you need to until it's comfortable before you start adding anything else. Now the same thing as the other groove applies to all this. So you're going to add a kick drum on 1 and 3, a snare drum on 2 and 4. So what you end up with is something that sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Have fun playing every single ACD song of all time. So everyone talks about how you play a basic beat. However, if you want to play in 6/8 or something like that, then here's how you do it. It's very similar. So instead of putting your snare drum on 2 and 4, you're going to put it on just 4. But remember, we're going to be counting 6 on the hi-hat. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then all you have to do is put a bass drum on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. If you're feeling really adventurous, put a bass drum on 6 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 6, 1. Have fun with that. What on God's green earth is a time signature? I'm about to tell you. So first off, a time signature is the two numbers you see at the beginning of a piece of music. Generally, it's going to be 4/4. So, first things first, the bottom number means what kind of note it is. So if it's a 4, it's a quarter note, or if you're in a different musical realm, a crotchet. If it's an 8, then it's 8th notes. If it's a 16, then it's 16th notes. You don't generally get 32. You can sometimes get a 2 as well, and I think you can get 1, but we won't go into that. For now, let's stick with 4. So, moving on to the top number. The top number is how many of the bottom number you've got in a bar, right? So if you've got 4/4, you've got 4 quarter notes in a bar. Makes sense. It does make sense once it finally gets explained to you. Now, you can break those notes up however you like, and you can count them however you like, but at the end of the day, you have to have 4 quarter notes worth of note value in your bar, right? So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4 as 1 ender, 2 ender, 3 ender, 4 ender if you want to. Still the same time signature. So you might then ask the question, why isn't that 4/16? What absolute crackhead would write it as 4/16, but I'll get into it. If you had 4/16, you'd then be saying that out loud and counting it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It doesn't roll off the tongue the same, you get me? Now, you can get different kinds of time signatures. You can get odd time signatures, compound time signatures, and common time signatures. I won't get into that because it all works by the same logic. So let's take an odd time signature like 7/8, for example. We love that one. If you're a prog head, you'll love it even more. So this means you've got 7 8th notes in your bar, or 7 quavers per bar, and you count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or anything crazy like that. You just count how many notes are in the bar, no subdivisions going on here. So I hope that clears that up for somebody. I hope that made sense. I think it did. Let me know if it did. I may make a video about the different types of time signature, but we'll see. We'll see. Do you want to know how to play a shuffle? Well, you're about to find out. All you have to do is count to 3 with your right hand on the hi-hat. This is called the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nice. Awesome. So the first time round on 1, you're going to play a kick drum at the same time. So your right foot. 1, 2, 3. Second time round, you're going to play a snare drum on 1. 1, 2, 3. Stick them together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're now technically playing in 6/8, but we aren't going to get into that. Now, to make this a shuffle, all you have to do is take out 2 on your right hand. So you end up with 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Stick that all together and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Speed that up a little bit. You'll get used to what it sounds and feels like, so you don't have to count as much. Hope that helps. How to play drums 101 with me, your girl, Emma. Hi. If you've never played drums before and you've always wanted to, I'm your girl, because I'm about to tell you how to do it. So I've done a number of videos on this already. It's in this playlist, but you can do this first time as well. So, you might already be able to hear how many songs this drum beat is, so you can probably tell why it's worth learning. Here's how you do it. In the right hand, we're going to count this on the hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure you count out loud. On 1 and 3, we're going to add a bass drum at the same time as your hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then on 2 and 4, snare drum in the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Sit with that for a little while, get it nice and comfortable. Then we're going to add an extra bass drum. So we're currently doing 1 and 3 for a bass drum. We're also going to put a bass drum on the and of 3. So it'll sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This isn't actually as difficult as you think because your right foot is coming down with your right hand. So it kind of has something to... coordinationally has something to kind of work with. Like that. See how you get on with this? If it's too difficult, there are simpler videos in this very playlist. So yeah. Woohoo!
I hate to call you out, but you might be playing We Will Rock You wrong, and if that's the case, we gotta fix that. Let's do it. This is how you play We Will Rock You properly. Now, the reason why I've got to specify what is going on here is because I've seen an awful lot of this. It's pretty close, still not right. Or this. You could do better than that. So, allow me to show you how. The key to making this sound huge is flams. Now, flams I've done a video on already, but I'll explain it again. It's basically where one stick comes down before the other, like this. One goes all the way up, one goes halfway up. Sounds delayed, like this, but very close together. Now, what you're going to do is put the first two hits on toms, 2 toms, so it sounds nice and big and wide. Preferably, if you've got a second floor tom, which you might do, like me, because I'm just that good. Makes it sound extra big, extra deep, just extra everything. Like that. And then you're just going to move over and do a flam on the snare drum. However, still missing a bit of summit. So, on the floor toms, or on the toms, whatever 2 toms you have that are lowest, you're going to put a bass drum as well, or kick drum, whatever you want to call it. It's still the same thing. They're going to go together, and then just the snare drum on its own, like that. I now expect to see perfection from every single one of you, every single time. Anytime I see anyone get this wrong again, I might cry just a little bit. I have said my piece. That is all. Have fun playing We Will Rock You correctly. Mwah. Do you want to know how to play disco, even if you've never played drums before? Obviously, why wouldn't you? Okay, so what I'm actually going to teach you is called a 4 to the floor, because there's 4 beats on the floor. Makes sense. Adds up. And what we're going to do first of all is just put a right hand on the hi-hat and a foot together and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now in between those, you're going to put an extra hi-hat, so you're going to count it like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Take some time getting really comfortable with that. 4 and. Because it can take a little while. Now on beats 2 and 4, we're going to add a snare drum underneath in your left hand, underneath your right. So all together, I'm going to count this really slowly. It will sound like this. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you need to go slower, go slower until it sounds really, really good and together. So now, this means if you can play this, you've unlocked every disco song that's ever existed, a hell of a lot of rock songs that have existed, and almost every single club song that's existed. Woo! Now there is one more thing that we're going to add. You might find this tricky at first, but I promise it's worth it. So, you've got this, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In your right hand, when you're playing an and, you're going to make it louder. We call the ands the offbeats because, well, you're not on the beat, so you're on the offbeat. So what you end up with, if I take away the snare drum, is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It can help you if you hit the side of the hi-hat for that. It just makes it a bit louder. So when you stick it all together, it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It might not sound really that special right now, but when you speed it up, when it gets comfortable, oof, pops off. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. Doobie 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 doo 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 doo. Here's how you play a really good 16th note groove, even if you've never played drums before. I promise you can do it. So it should sound like this at the end of it. You're going to unlock every single disco song of all time. So we're going to start with the foot. Your right foot is going to play 1, 2, 3 and 4. And please count out loud because it'll help you a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we're going to play on the hi-hat is right, left, and we're going to count it like this. It's going to be 4 of these per 1 bass drum. So you're going to count right, left, 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 right, left. Now we can't count 1, 2, 3, 4 because we're already using 1, 2, 3, 4 for the main pulse. So what we use for 16th notes is 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Now that can take some time, but it's worth it. Up to speed, a bit more up to speed, it sounds like this. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Once it gets comfortable, you probably don't have to count every single note. So when you get up here, it can really help if you're counting if you put an accent or play louder where your bass drum's coming down as well. Okay, so you've got that. Here's the good part. When we play 2 and 4, beats 2 and 4, you're going to take your right hand that's already up here, but we're just going to bring it over here and hit the snare drum. So it will sound like this. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So notice snare and kick drum are coming down together like that. Now when it's played more at the speed, it should sound like this. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Have fun with that. I'm having a great time. Do you want to know how to play a reggae drum beat even if you've never played drums before? I'm assuming yes, because the algorithm has sent this to you. However, if you said reggae in the last 24 hours, it might also be that the FBI is listening. Who knows? But either way, let's play some reggae. Now what's really cool about reggae is it's a great excuse to use what we call cross stick. Meaning we put the stick across the snare drum, like this. So this part of your hand stays on the drum head, basically on the drum skin, like this, down like this, and also the tip of the stick stays at the bottom. And what you're going to do is you're going to literally place your hand down and place the stick against the other side of the rim, like this. Right? It's a bit harder on electric kit because they don't really like rim clicks, but on normal kits it will sound great. And what you want to do is play with the distance, so where on the stick you're hitting the rim, because you'll find that it sounds really good in one particular spot, but you've just got to find it for yourself. So just kind of test the waters a little bit and then find it. Now, to the actual groove part, we're going to focus on our right hand and put 1, 2, 3 and 4 in our right hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat that whole bunch. Now, on 3, just beats 3, we're not focusing on anything else, just beats 3, we're going to have the left hand come down as well as the right foot. So it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Now, to make this sound way more like reggae and way better, we're going to add what we call a shuffle pattern on the right hand. Now, a shuffle is a swung rhythm, meaning it has a triplet feel. What's a triplet? It's just 3 notes squeezed into the space of 1, and they sound like this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now to get a shuffle, you just take out 2. So you end up with this. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. If we put that into context with the rest of the groove, we're still playing all the 1, 2, 3 and 4, we're just adding an extra note. So it should feel like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Okay. Now once you get really comfortable with that, I don't recommend you keep a constant shuffle going. Try playing around with swing feel rhythms. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Just get the basic rhythm down and have fun playing a lot of Bob Marley. Hello to all my newer drummers. Here's a little hack. If you're really bored of playing an 8th note pattern with literally 1 bass drum at the beginning, so this is great, very versatile, you can do loads with it. However, here is a little hack for you to then get any bass drum pattern you want, really. When you're playing an 8th note groove, you've got 8th notes on the hi-hat. Now your body is going to be more comfortable with playing a bass drum on the right hand because you're already doing it on the 1. Right hand, bass drum there. Meaning that you can place your bass drum on any right hand that you want. Really, might take a little bit of practice, but experiment with it because you'll get many a pattern out of it. If you're struggling at first, take out the snare drum. I think that'll help you a lot in terms of just making things more interesting for you. We're talking about ghost notes. It's just so you're aware, I'm not just making weird wooey noises at you for no reason. Let's talk about ghost notes, my favourite thing. So much so that I wrote a book about it. But if you've never come across ghost notes in drumming, this is about to change the game for you. Fundamentally, all they are just quiet notes. Usually played in the left hand to fill out a groove. What do I mean by that? So you've got an 8th note groove. In between these hi-hats, you got space.
The final frontier.
Space that you're going to fill with a 16th note or a little tiny baby ghost note. So you're going to go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Just like that. Make sure this is as quiet as you can physically make it, because that will just make things sound so much better. Trust me. Right hand could be normal volume. Let's make a groove out of it. So we're going to count this as 8th notes because it's easier. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in the hands. On 3, you're going to bring your right hand, that's currently on the hi-hat, down to the snare drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and make sure it's nice and loud on 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and once that's comfortable, just put bass drum on 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and keep the left hand real quiet. Then once it's comfortable, speed it up gradually. It grooves real good and I like it a lot. Scared yet? No? Okay. How to play a basic jazz beat. I say beat, groove, ostinato, if you will. So to get this right, to get swing right, you have to think about triplets. Triplets being 3 notes squeezed into the space of 1. So if I have a pulse like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, triplets would be this, 3, 4, triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So a swing is where you take out the middle note of the triplet. So you end up with a sound like this. So that's important for a shuffle and also jazz because both require swing. Now the basic of a jazz pattern is quite literally the pulse. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4. But you're going to add on every other beat the of a triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So get used to that for a little while because it can take a while. Then once that's comfortable, on 2 and 4, you're going to add your left foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I play triplets through that, it might make a bit more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that helps somebody. I don't know who keeps requesting this. I apologise if I forget your name, but they are desperate for me to play 3/4. So here it is, my friend. This is for you. 3/4 is just a time signature, so really you can just play anything you want as long as it's 3 beats long. However, here's something if you've never played 3/4 before, just to get used to it. I'm going to give you 2 options. Are you ready? Take notes. Or favourite this video. That's probably easier. First of all, we're going to do a simpler one, so there's less confusing things going on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the right hand. On 1, bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On 2 and 3, snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All you Papa fans out there, today is your day. So there's that. Or a slightly more challenging groove for you could be this. So all that's changing is the snare drum pattern. Hi-hat stays the same. 1, 2, 3, bass drum on 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but on the and of 2. So we're counting eighth notes, people. Exciting stuff. 1, 2, and 3. So it's coming in between these hi-hats. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Bass drum on 1, 1, 2, and 3. 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 1. Tell me what you think. How'd you get on with it? Let me know. Baby's first drum and bass. Let's do it. You can do this even if you've never played drums before. You just need to be plonked in front of one with a pair of these sticks. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 in the right hand. Slower than that if you need it to be. On 2 and 4 in your left hand, you're going to play this with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. On 1, you're going to put a bass drum. This is the only part that you might find quite tricky if you've never played before. Before the snare drum, on 4, and between these hi-hats, you're going to put another bass drum. So I'm going to play it real slow, and hopefully it'll make sense. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just before, you have another snare drum. And 4. So this bass drum's going to be on its own. So if I stick it together, it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Might be tricky, but it's worth it. Yes, I know there's going to be some people going, that's not drum and bass. This is to get people to play drums. Get off your high horse. Let's play drums and have some fun. Isn't it a fantastic day to be alive? Because you're about to learn how to play samba on drums, even if you've never done it before. I know! I know! Now the main thing we're going to learn is the samba hand pattern. Now at the end, it should sound like this. Now why should you learn this? Not only because then you'll be prepared anytime you're walking down the street with a snare drum during the carnival in Rio, but because it's just useful for coordination in general, and also feels awesome. Now to save me from having to count this and explain counting to you, you're just going to play along with me, okay? So what we're going to do is play right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? 2, 3, 4. Now, the pattern of accents goes like this. Right, left, right, right, right. And again, right, left, right, right, right. So on your lap, it'll sound like this. Right, left, right, right, right. It might take a little while, but just stick with it. It's worth it. So now we're going to make things a bit more spicy and add the feet. So first things first, we're going to add on the pulse. You're going to feel it naturally, hopefully. We're going to put a bass drum. So it's going to sync up with the first right hand of every 4 you play. Don't worry, I know this is a confusing way to explain it. It will make sense. So right, left, 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 right, left. Might make a bit more sense up to speed. And if you're a bit more advanced, you can also add in the left foot because you're just going to be doing that on the offbeat. Hopefully that makes sense, but even if you don't get the feet down, try the hands out because it's just useful and fun to play in general. If you've been in a club in the last 20 years, you've probably heard a beat like this. It's very nice. Do you want to know how to play it? I thought you did. Now you're very lucky in this groove because all you have to do is play 1, 2, 3 and 4 in both the right hand on the hi-hat here and on the bass drum. So you end up with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the juicy stuff is coming from the snare drum, which you're going to play underneath in your left hand. Now, I won't bore you with how rhythm works in drums too much, but the basic count you want is 1, a 2, and 3, a 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, a 4, and. So the and the and are going in on your left hand here. I'd say it out loud as well. Get used to what the rhythm sounds like and then play it. It always helps. 3, a 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, a 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, a 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, a 4, and. If you're already a drummer and you want to make it a bit more interesting, just put eighth notes on the hi-hat. So that means you're counting 1 and, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you've recently started drumming and you've got a few grooves down, but you don't know what to do with fills, then these next few videos in this playlist are for you. We're going to go through a couple fills as well as how to improvise, very important, and also rudiments, really, really important. So if that's something you want to know more about, then just follow this playlist. See you there. Here is the most basic drum fill you can do, even if you've never played drums before. Here you go. Thank the algorithm, not me. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're going to put it around the drum kit. All in the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, on the left hand, we're going to add a note called and, which is how we count eighth notes. So, if I put this in context and count, you're just going to go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. But you can count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'll play a groove before it and then put it into context. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you're feeling really adventurous, really spicy, put a crash cymbal on the 1. Yeah. Yeah, I did it. We're going to do. So let's put this a little bit faster. Some of you might find this easy, but I've just got to cover the basics. You know, I've got to do it. Believe it or not, there are people out there who don't know this stuff. I know. Well, now you do. You're welcome. I've been requested to show people how to play drum fills, so here it is. For all you newbies, all you new drummers, all the people who've never played drums before and always wanted to. Here we go. I call this Tiki Bum Tiki Bum. It's a working title. We'll go with it. All it is right, left, right, right, left, right. Not kidding. It is just that. In timing, in context, we got 1, 2, right, left, right, right, left, right. Right, left, right, right, left, right. Don't worry, this will get more interesting. So the last right, we're going to move up to the high tom. So we're going to go right, left, right. And then you're going to go back to snare drum and go right, left, right. So you're going high tom, floor tom, right, left, high, right, left, low. In time, it sounds like this. 1, 2, right, left, right, right, left, right. Right, left, high, right, left, low. Now this fill is 2 beats long, meaning you have to play 2 beats of groove before you play it. So here's some context for you. So here's a basic groove. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, tiki bum, tiki bum. I know. Tiki bum, tiki bum. Tiki bum, tiki bum. Have fun with that. Lots of people like these really simple drum fills, so this is a drum fill if you've never really played that much before. If at all, in fact. You can do this even if you've never played before. All it is right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. As eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Don't worry, it's not just on here. You're going to go snare, snare, high, high, snare, snare, low, low. Put together. Snare, snare, high, high, snare, snare, low, low. Then you're going to do a bar of groove. If you don't know what a groove is, it's all in this playlist. Crash on it. But if you're going to put a crash, make sure you put a lovely little bass drum on it too. 2, 3, 4, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, crash. will make a rock god of you yet. How to play the Phil Collins fill. Even if you've never played drums before, you can do it. So most of us could probably mash this out in some way, shape or form. But I'm going to tell you how I do it. It sounds like this. Very nice. Or you can play it like this. Something like that. Along those lines. Good enough. So what you're going to do, we're going to make this more interesting. You're going to play flams. If you don't know what flams are, you're about to find out. Basically, it counts as one note, but you're just playing one stick slightly before the other, so it's slightly higher. They come down slightly delayed. You're going to play 2 of those on the snare drum. 2 of those on the high tom, 2 on mid tom, 2 on the floor tom. After each one, you're going to put a bass drum like this. Very nice. I know you've just played it perfectly first time. I bet you did. Okay, so we've got that bit. That's the first bit. So now we're at the floor tom. We move back to the snare drum and do another flam, and another bass drum, then another flam, another bass drum. So it sounds like this. So if we stick it all together really slowly, it will sound like this. Snare, snare. And you're in. Look at that. Told you it was easy. That never gets old. I think I've outdone myself. I think I've done it. You're about to learn a drum fill that you're never going to forget. And it is a good one, but not for the reasons you think. If I just play it to you, it sounds like this. Pretty simple, right? Sounds good when you put it around the kit too. So, the sticking for this is right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. In other words, boring. But you're not going to count like that. What you're going to say is, stick it up my bum, stick it up my bum, stick it up my bum. I told you you're never going to forget this. So in context, it sounds like this. Stick it up my bum, stick it up my bum, stick it up my bum. And don't forget, on the last one, don't stick it up my bum, stick it on the crash. Stick it up my bum, stick it up my bum, stick it up my bum. Woo! Do you want to know how to play that? I thought you did. Now, this particular little ditty, I think, is generally referred to as tickety-bum. Tickety-bum. However, I'm not 100% on that. Don't at me if I'm wrong. So fundamentally, the sticking is this. Right, left, right, kick. Right, left, right, kick. And you're going to play it like a triplet. So you're going triplet 1. If you don't know what a triplet is, it's literally 3 notes squeezed into the space of 1. 1, triplet, 2, triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the way I like to think about this is the kick drum is actually a 1. So you're playing this triplet before the 1s. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, tickety 1. Right? So it like leads you into a 1. So the fill I just played there, it goes tickety boom, tickety boom, tickety boom, boom, bat, crash. So you're going to count it like this. Tickety 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to know how to improvise on drums even if you've never done it before? You don't even have to count. It's so cool. A lot of people are going to argue with me on this, but I don't care because this is cool. And it means everyone can play a cool thing, so I'm going to do it. You don't need sticks and you don't need a drum kit, but I do recommend it. It does make things sound a lot more cool. You're literally going to repeat right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Fantastic. Amazing. Now, on the right, you're going to put a bass drum. So you're going to end up with a sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to count. But if you are, your main count is on the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is holding you in time, basically. In your hands, you're going to keep everything nice and level volume-wise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Just make sure everything's nice and synced up. Once that's comfortable, start putting an accent, so making a loud note on the right hand whenever you like. Not every time, just whenever you want to. So maybe something like this. I'm just going to make it up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4. You might be able to see where this is going. Now, put the right hand wherever the hell you want and see how it sounds. Instantly, you're playing drums. What can I say? You're welcome. For all you beginner self-taught drummers, here are 4 rudiments that you just need. Out of all of them, to start with, they're just everywhere and they're so useful. So, number 1, you've got your classic single stroke, which is quite literally right, left, times many. So, which is useful perhaps for obvious reasons. It might just be the first thing you've ever learned, but it goes beyond just single strokes. So, number 2, we've got doubles, which are so important. Oh my god, they're literally in every other rudiment going for, I say every other, but they're very important. All it is literally right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Some people call them, what is it, mummy daddies? Mama daddy, no. What's cool about these is you can get the sound of fast single strokes without the effort of fast single strokes. So instead of going, you can just go. Third, the almighty, the classic paradiddles. Don't know why they're so cool, but they are just cool. Basically, it's just single strokes and then double strokes put together. Right, left, right, right, left, left, left. So many applications. Here's a few. And last but not least, probably one you've encountered before, but if not, you're welcome, flams. Pretty easy in concept. One stick coming down before the other, one slightly higher than the other. That's it, but it's everywhere. Everywhere. If you want some videos on some applications or some more obscure rudiments, then let me know. How to play and get better with single strokes for all my little baby drummers out there. Hello. So single strokes are the first and most basic rudiment of them all. Rudiments are basically just a collection of different sticking patterns that you end up sticking together and they weave all together and make your playing sound very nice. So single strokes are what you're going to come across first, most likely. And all it is right, left. Right, left, right, left. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Forever. Just forever. So unless some kind of miracle occurs, you won't be able to play that fast straight away, and that's okay. Here's what we're gonna do. What I want you to do is count right, left, as 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it rolling, keep it going. So there's lots of important elements to this. First things first, keep your volume the same on each note. So your right and left hands might try and do something different, try and keep them the same as possible. Next, always aim for the centre of your snare drum. That's just where it sounds the best. Later down the line you can use other bits of it, but if you want the best sound out of it, just aim for the middle. It's good practice for everything else as well. Also, practice going back to a neutral position, which is resting just above the snare drum here. So you're going to go from here, and as soon as you count 1, you're lifting up like that, and you're going to come back to that neutral position. It's about an inch above the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. I won't go too much into technique, but pay attention to what my hands and wrists are doing. What you will probably do straight away is use your arm and your wrist to get these notes out. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't need that, and you don't want this either. 1, 2, 3, 4. Loosen everything up, chill out. What I like to imagine is a little string attached to your wrist like this. And as you lift up, it's just lifting up from that point. So, whoop, just like that. And you get a little bit of a whipping motion. You're opening your hand very slightly and allowing it to just whip forward like that. So you're going wrist up, flip forward, wrist up, flip forward. So you got that. I want you to do that for 2 bars. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go to 8th notes, which you count as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the sticking is going to remain the same. It will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The motions in your hand are going to get smaller as you get faster because you've got less time to get to the next note. So you're going to do 2 bars of quarter notes, 2 bars of 8th notes. So it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Get used to that. Try that at different speeds as your ability improves. However, if you're bored of just being on the snare drum, start to move it around the kit as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Stuff like that. So go away and have fun. How the hell do you play doubles? This is an age-old question, especially if you're self-taught. It can be really tricky, but I'm about to tell you how you do it. So doubles, if you don't know, are a rudiment. One of the most important rudiments because they're in so many other rudiments down the line. All it is right, right, left, left. Or if you're left-handed, left, left, right, right. Once you get really good at them and you stick them together, you get to do that and you don't have to go through the effort of doing single strokes. It's a lot less hard work. So with doubles, rebound is everything. You're getting this stick and the drum to work for you. The bounce is everything. So this is where your grip is really important as well. As I've mentioned before in how to hold sticks properly, this is your pivot point, your thumb and your forefinger. And then wrapped around that, you've got your other fingers, but not really tight. You're not gripping on for dear life. Because what you want this to be able to do is open up and have this nice and loose so your fingers can give it a bit of extra propulsion, kind of. That's the best way I can think to put it. So the best way I can describe doing doubles is it's a 2-part motion. So you hit the drum and you can see I've caught it basically with my hand open like that, okay? Just like that. Looks a bit weird at this angle. When it's down here it makes sense. So that's the first part. You catch it while it's vaguely upright and then you close your fingers on the way back up. Open, closed. Now it's really important that when you first strike it, you let the drum and the stick do the bounce for you. You're not trying to go like that. It will do it for you. Eventually, this is very exaggerated, but eventually this motion gets a bit smaller. And as you become more relaxed, the motion gets smaller and you can put a little bit more power into it and it's a bit more controlled. The tricky part is getting your left hand to also cooperate with you on this. It's exactly the same thing, it's just your left hand's going to probably throw a hissy fit. So all this requires really is sitting down and putting the time in. It's one of those things, I know, it sucks, but it is one of those things. So I've done another video on this and how to apply doubles in a more subtle way that means you don't have to sit here and just do doubles because that can be really dire. It takes a lot of brain power after a while. So using grooves and stuff where there's just a double in there occasionally can help you develop it in a more subtle way that won't make you want to give up, basically. Why are doubles so goddamn important? Not only is it half the effort for getting the sound of single strokes, so you don't have to go, you can just go. There are differences, I know some people will go sonically there are differences, but if you're just starting out, doubles is the way to go. Also, it's your first step into proper stick control because you're learning how a stick rebounds off a drum, and this is just so important everywhere in drumming. As you can see, the stick naturally does want to jump back at you. So all you're doing is letting it drop again. And then picking it up. Kind of like I'm doing an exaggerated motion, but kind of like that. In the name of efficiency, you're letting it drop back, because if you were trying to force every single note, it's really difficult. So we've got this kind of gripping motion for the second note. Trickier now is getting that exactly the same on the left hand. Good luck. If you want more speed, just apply slightly more pressure. At first anyway. What you might end up having is this kind of... But just stick with it. Stick. And slow things right down, so... How little effort I'm putting into this. Trying to do that with single strokes, not so easy.
So as a new drummer, it can be really hard to get doubles under your fingers. So I was trying to think of ways that might be useful to kind of slowly introduce them into your playing. So all this is one double in your left hand. So you end up going right, left, left. You might use this quite a lot in triplets, so like that. That is very useful. But a way you can use it in grooves is as a one and a. So one and a two and a three and a four and a. So if you put it in a groove context, you can do something like this. So what you're doing is 16th notes and then adding a little double at the end. 1 E and a 2 E and a. And your right hand just keeps doing 8th notes. See how I get on with that.
How the hell do I play a fill with doubles? Says the new drummer who's only just learned how to play doubles. If you don't know what doubles are, then check out the video in the new drummers playlist. It's just there. So, a lot of us, when we learn how to play doubles, we then don't know how to apply them. We just... Great, fantastic. What am I supposed to do with this, right? Here's a little figure you can use and then apply around the kit how you wish. So, right, left, double, double, right, left, double, double, 1 and 2 E and a 1 and 2 E and a. Right, left, right, right, left, left. Get that under your fingers. Try and get all the accents nice and equal as well. Don't worry if you can't play it that fast, I'm just trying to get through this very quickly. This fill is literally as simple as the first right hand goes to a tom of your choice, or a cymbal if you're feeling spicy, do what you want. So a good way to practice this is literally play a bar and a half, so 6 beats technically, of groove, and then play the figure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right, left, like that. And then you can play it around the kit. If you want to get that a bit faster, then you can do all sorts of things. So try that out, see how it goes. Paradiddles! Everyone say it with me. Paradiddles! We love paradiddles. Paradiddles are my friend. I like them a lot. They are so useful. I love them. Paradiddles are probably third on the list in terms of the most important rudiments there are in drumming. So I highly suggest you get comfortable with them. So all it is right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Sticking is here. As you can see, there's a double in this. There's a right, right, and there's a left, left. This is why getting your doubles down is really important, because if you don't have those down, it can really hinder your speed with paradiddles. But for now, if you've never done them before, it's just about getting used to this sticking pattern. Left, right, right, left, right, left, left. With rudiments, it is a case of literally sitting down and just playing them for quite a long time. You can sit in front of the TV, do what you got to do, but you just got to get used to it for a long time.
once you've got them, the applications are almost endless. You can use them in grooves, you can use them in fills, you can then invert them, which is basically the sticking stays the same, but it's just shoved along 1 or 2 beats. All sorts of things. You can start to add stuff to them, so you can get paradiddle-diddles or paradiddles, but we won't get into that right now. In terms of practicing them, instead of just playing them on the snare drum without any feet involved, maybe start doing marching feet. So right, left, right, left, left. So you're right, then you're left. Or you can just do kick drum, or just the left foot, just to give you a bit more stability while your hands are doing their thing. Also, a really important thing to bear in mind is what your hand's doing to prepare for the next paradiddle. So if you notice, right, left, right, right. As that double's going on my right, the left is coming up ready to hit the main accent on the 1. Does that make sense? Right, left, up, left, right, up. Again, this is all about efficiency and being able to get that speed up, because if you didn't do that, then you have to go right, left, right, left, right, left, left. It's that microsecond of extra time that it takes to actually do the motion that can throw you off and make things feel really just rigid. So that is my advice for paradiddles. Go forth, have fun paradiddling. People keep telling me that paradiddles are great and that I should know them and I can play them, but I don't know how to use them. Is this you? I'm assuming it is. Here's how you use paradiddles in a groove. It's my favourite. You're going to love it. If you don't know what paradiddles are, literally go to the playlist, New Drummers Toolkit. It's got the explanation in it. I will not bore you anymore with it. People use paradiddles in fills all the time. So on and so forth. But my favourite application for paradiddles are grooves, and I'm going to show you why. Because they're sick. Obviously, I mean, I wouldn't play it otherwise, but they're great. Makes your groove sound way more interesting if you're bored of playing just 8 notes. Right? How do you do it? Well, first of all, you play paradiddles. If you can't play paradiddles, you definitely can't play them in a groove. Secondly, instead of just playing them on a snare drum or between toms, you're going to put your right hand either on the ride cymbal or the hi-hat. Player's choice. I'm not your mum. You can do what you want. More importantly, you've got your left hand on the snare drum. You're just going to literally play paradiddles. Right, left, right, left, left. So you're going to play the first half normally. Right, left, right. Now, you're going to play the left, this left, nice and big, nice and accented. Left, right, left. So you get right, left, left. And thus emerges the backbeat. Fantastic. Now, if possible, make all the other notes on the snare drum nice little tiny baby ghost notes. They'll just sound better. Take some time, get that up to speed. Now, you can place bass drums wherever the hell you want, but my suggestion is generally on the 1, especially if you're just starting. So 1 E and a 2 E and a paradiddle. You can then down the line start to adventure with different bass drum patterns. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 3 and 4, 1, 3 and 4. But if you're just starting, just stick with the 1. Also, side note. Nice little sexy side note called the ride bell. It's really cool when you place it not only on the 1, so 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, if you put it on the E of 2, so 1 E and a 2 E and a. Sounds sick. Have fun with that. I know you will, because it's awesome. Flams, flams. That's really hard to say quite fast. Flams. Rock's best friend, probably the 4th most important rudiment after single strokes, doubles, paradiddles. These are really good for just emphasising a note when you want to. In theory, they're really simple. It takes a little while to get them down, but once you've got the knack of them, you will never stop using them. So what you're going to do is lift one stick all the way up, one stick halfway up. I recommend the left is halfway up, and then bring them down together. So they sound delayed. So even though you're playing 2 notes, you'll bring them down as if they're 1. And you count them as 1 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably a really famous example of this is Smells Like Teen Spirit. So like I said, I recommend you start with the right hand being the one raised all the way up. If you're left-handed, this is the other way.
So right hand is all the way up, left hand is halfway up, meaning your right hand is the note that's the main accent. Whop, like that. But also make sure you can play it the other way round. So the left hand is the accent note, the right hand is the halfway house. The reason for this, it means once you get more advanced, start to make more complicated patterns, and you can swap flams easily like this. One common pitfall, do not let your hands fall at exactly the same time because it'll sound like pants. Experiment with different distances, see what you like the most. The key here is the consistency. Drags. The fifth rudiment, I should have emphasised, is very, very useful. If you don't know what drags are, if you don't know what rudiments are, it's literally all in this playlist here, this one. So drags, generally sticking wise, are left, left, right, or right, right, left. Learn both. Always good to learn both. So why do we use drags? Well, basically it makes things sound cool. As with most things in drums, we do it because it sounds cool. But specifically with drags, it gives you a little bit of a sense of momentum going into a fill. So if I don't use drags and do a fill like this, it's all right. It's a drum fill. But if I do a drag into it, that little has a little bit of a momentum, a little bit of just some spice. You could learn this in a very military fashion if you like, which is literally sitting there and going left, left, right, 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 left. I suggest while you're playing your double, your hand goes up at the same time, so you're preparing for the accent. In terms of the way you count this officially, it's 1 and a. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Now they're usually a little bit more rushed than that, so you could count them as 30-second notes. I won't get into that. As long as they sound like two nice defined notes instead of like a buzz, you don't want that. You can do that, I'm not your mum. But I suggest to play an actual drag. 2 separate notes. And also keep them really low compared to your accent note. So like I said, you could sit there and just literally go left, left, right, 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 left. That's all well and good, fantastic. But a way you can then start to apply this is by using it in 8th notes. So play 8th notes, right, left, right, left, right, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now when we get to 4, on the and of 4, we're going to put 2 left. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right, so when you speed that up, 1, 2, 3, 4. You might be able to see where this is going. So then you've got 8th notes, so you can play any fill that you play normally with 8th notes. Just add that at the beginning. Drags. I like them a lot. Alright, that's it. Big thank you everyone. If you got to the end, congratulations. I hope that you've taken a lot away from this and this has been really helpful. This to me is basically everything you need to get started with drums, and I hope you agree. As I mentioned in the beginning, if you have any big questions for me specifically, come join the Discord and ask me there. It's more likely I'm going to see it there. Other than that, have a great conversation with people in the comments as well, because I'm sure there'll be a lot to share and talk about. I'd also love to know what you guys want from me. Also, you've got the free ebooks, again, all in the description. And if you enjoyed or found this video valuable, please consider liking, subscribing, doing all the things. If you'd like a personal lesson one-to-one with me online, again, it's all in the description. Other than that, hope you have a great day, week, month, year, life, and I'll see you hopefully in the next video.